In today's video, we're going to cover the double trumpet interchange. This is a pretty easy one. You don't need to get bogged down with loads of angles or measurements. There's just a few markers, then it's mostly 90-degree angles, simple curves, then just a matter of connecting the ramps. I'll show you two configurations for the ramps, one suitable for a quiet interchange, and then one that's a little bit more suitable for a busier junction. Don't forget, the channel Discord is now live. Come pop in and say hello. If you want to have a chat about any of the videos or you want to share your own ideas, that's the place to be. I look forward to seeing you there. Okay, let's crack on with the build. Let's start this one like we quite often do. We'll just pull a straight road over. So here we've got the highway parallel mode on, just leaving a gap of 1. And we're going to use a 4 lane on this one. We're going to run our CD roads here, so parallel road. Really simple and easy to do. I've just been pulling out 24 meters and literally just pull it along 90 degrees parallel. Dead simple. Okay, so next up we're going to draw a couple of markers for our bridge sections. So we're going to just pull out a little road at 64 meters on both sides. Just draw a little nubbin at 90-degree angles here, and we're going to be using the guidelines as a basis for our bridges in just a moment. As you can see, we're just picking up the guideline and pulling it straight down to the other one. And for the next bridge, we're going to just pull over, we're going to measure that out, and then once it's at a point we like, we just right click it to reset. Then we just pull it back down with the left click. So for the curves, we're going to repeat the process on each side. All we're going to be doing is just using our continuous curve, pulling it straight out, and then click, pull along 90-degree angles. So we're just eyeballing this one. As long as it's roughly on the halfway point, I'm pretty happy with that. And what we're going to be doing is just reducing the height on these parts as well. So I've reduced it down to 3.75 meters on each side, and that tends to work pretty well. The slope of the ramp isn't too steep. Yeah, and we're definitely going to go with that one. So joining up the end of the ramps again is a pretty straightforward process. We're just going to pull it straight down and then straight along at a 90-degree angle. And what we're looking to do is to find the lengths here. You can see that 64 meters down or up, and then as close to 64 meters along the road we can get. We've done the same on all 4 of these ramps, and it gives you a nice uniform curve on all of the sections. Okay, so we'll get these little bits deleted, we don't need them. Now at this point we're just going to draw the highway back in, bringing it back down to ground level. So I've just pulled it out 200 meters, but you can use whatever you want really at the end of the day. Once these are in, just pull them out and extend them a little bit further on ground level. Now what we're going to move on to next is connecting the outer loop to the highways. I'm going to show you 2 different ways of doing this. The first one is just upgrading the outside of the loop and giving it an extra lane. And we can just basically connect the ramps to the outside of the lanes. I would only really recommend this if it's going to be a quiet interchange. So you are introducing a weaving section here. Generally you want to try and avoid that in your interchanges if it can be helped. So just keep that in mind. This design's for a quieter point, and the other one I'll show you in a minute is if you think it's going to be a busy interchange. Okay. So here I just want to try and find a curve that I'm happy with. I think I ended up settling on 13 degrees and then pulling along about 110. So here I'm just going to stick a marker in because I want to upgrade the outgoing highway and the incoming highway here and stick those extra lanes in first. And I've just repeated the same on the other side here as well. So identical curves really on both sides, and then it's just simply a case of using that same curve again. So roughly 13 degrees or 16 degrees are used here. If you're a couple of meters out or a couple of degrees out, it's not a big deal, guys. Just it'll look the same pretty much if you're talking about those kind of margins. There we go. It's as simple as that. Looks pretty decent. Now for connecting the other side, again, fairly similar idea. So we can see here that's about 64 meters from the lane to that 3 lane. So again, we're just going to do a simple sort of 90-degree curve here again. Okay, see how that works. just pull it out from that road, and again you can just right click it to disengage, and you can start your curve again. Go. Now I'm going to carry on and use this build for the rest of the video. However, I am going to show you the alternative way of doing it just by having a separate right turning lane. Again, I'd recommend it if it's going to be a busy interchange. Okay. Right, so let's crack on with the alternative. So to kick things off, I'm just going to pull the road down at 90 degrees from this top highway. I'm looking to find a point where it's roughly about a road's width away from that loop. And I think I'm happy enough with that. So in terms of the curve, again, it's super simple curves again. Try and find the sort of halfway point on this curve, pull it straight up, and again, 90-degree angle, and we're going straight back into our slip road there, okay? It's going to be this kind of same idea really down here as well. We're just looking at 90-degree angles, and again, find the point where we want to start the curve, pretty much halfway point there on the loop. Roughly the same distance down, same distance across. What we're looking at, about 80 meters. Yep, looking fairly smooth. And when that curve ends, we're going to pull out the third and final one. Now, we get rid of these extra bits of road. It's all going in the right direction. There we go. We've got a separate road entirely here. As I say, you're going to avoid the weaving issues. So let's just knock this up again on the other side. Again, it's all just 90-degree angles, guys. It's pretty straightforward. We'll just pull that back into the highway. Let's create our third one. We'll check out the distances. 72 meters from there. 80 meters, lovely. And then 80 meters across. 83, that'll do. Let's pick this one here. So 63 and 63, perfect. Get rid of these roads. Make sure it's all going in the right direction. Lovely. Okay, there we go. Looking pretty decent. Okay, so we're going to crack on with our final ramp now. So I want a parallel road here. We're going to pull it out to 24 meters. Let's bring that down to ground level, of course. 90-degree angle again. Let's just create that road and pull it right the way up. Okay, perfect. Same again on the other side. Again, just 24 meters. Doesn't matter where you pull it out from. We're just looking for a parallel road at this point. Okay, so I'm going to pick a point where I want to join up the incoming road. I'm just going to use the end of this elevated section, bridge section. So, simple curve. Pull it out about 70, 80 meters, hit the guideline, and we'll just connect that straight up to that parallel road that we joined. And again, same again the other side, as close to it as you can anyway. Let's get rid of these. That. That. Okay, so again, we're going to use 90-degree angles. Going to pull this out, just check the distance. About 70, 79 I think that was. Simple curve. Again, pull it along about 70. So 70 along, 70 up or down. We just delete the extra bit of road, we don't need that anymore. Same process, that was 72, and we'll pull it across. 75 will do. Get rid of that. There we go. Okay, so all the ramps are connected to the collector road. What we need to do now is hook up the collector road to the main highway. I'm going to bump this down to one lane just now on this section of the highway. And again, if you find that it's particularly busy, you can play around with these guys. You can obviously put extra lanes in, do whatever you want in the end. But I know in this build, it's not going to get too busy, so I'm quite happy just bumping that down to one lane after the loop. All I'm doing here is I'm just picking a length, and I'm going to use the same lengths on both sides and just create markers going right the way through all 4 roads. Again, doesn't have to be too exact, you just want it reasonably symmetrical, so use the same lengths on each side. So for the second marker, we're going to pull out another 104. Again, same idea, let's just pull out 104. Perfect. Right click to disengage, and then just draw your road back in. That's your markers done. Let's get rid of all this stuff that we don't need now. Now for the lane maths here, what we're going to do is we're just going to downgrade this or replace this down to 2 lane. Of course, we've got 2 more lanes to join up, and that will make 4 lanes, obviously. 2 plus 2 is 4, but that will give us the correct lane mass that we're looking for really on this section of the road. So simple curve. Again, I'm just going to repeat the measurements on each side. I'm just pulling out 55 straight along. There we go. And we just connect it to that road. That looks relatively smooth. I'm happy with that. Don't forget about that section there. Now, let's get these curves in. Okay, looking good. Good. Let's get a shot of these markers. Lovely. So that is looking like a complete build to me. If you haven't already, now's the time to hit that like and subscribe button, and of course any comments on the video are very much appreciated as well. This one came out looking super clean. This is a vanilla build for the roads, but I've used a bit of surface painter to give that concrete look, and then used the prop line tool for a bit of simple decoration. Really happy with this one. Don't forget, it's a flexible build with the ramp configurations and the lanes, so have a play about with it, see what works for your city. That's all for now guys, have a great day, and as usual, here's a couple more videos for you.